Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your brother Abu Mikhail from New York City. If you're listening in, I hope you and your family are doing well, inshallah ta'ala. This is my very first podcast series, so I'm a little nervous and excited, but may Allah make it beneficial. Allahumma ameen. I'm kind of hoping to co-host this soon with a good brother of mine. I know he has a lot of things that he could kind of share with many of us that we could benefit from. As for the title, we've been in talks and we kind of decided to go with the name The Stranger's Perspective for the podcast channel. We thought it was a good title for what would be discussed on the weekly show. And I say weekly because I'm kind of hoping to put out content at least once a week or when some, major current event takes place, inshallah. And the whole point of it is kind of to spread awareness. By awareness, I don't mean like this fake woke propaganda that you kind of see a lot of people push on social media. I mean like real issues that's happening and, questions that most people aren't asking because they're too afraid to go against the norm or, they're afraid that they might get canceled. We kind of want to use the platform to give a viewpoint, a different viewpoint for a lot of things that's happening in the world, a lot of social issues, a lot of worldly affairs that we don't see many people properly addressing. And when it is addressed, it seems like that we have forgotten that it has to kind of coincide with our deen. And it's just not to, to agree with the people just for the sake of agreeing or to, agree just, even when something's wrong, just to please the people, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. We hear like so many things about the oppression from like, the politics and the government and to issues about social injustice and other things that's happening worldwide. And of course, here at home, for those of us that live in the States, we watch the news and it's kind of like taking deen from like random YouTubers. You get a bit of truth mixed with, a lot of falsehood, with the news. And sometimes you hear something and you ask yourself, has this even been fact checked? But before you know it, like the whole world has heard it. And sometimes it turns out to be a lie. Like there's a famous quote and it goes something like, a lie will reach halfway across the world before the truth has even put its shoes on. Like, really think about that. A lie will reach halfway across the world before the truth has even got its shoes on. We get a narrative from the media and we see all sorts of misinformation being spread. And, before you know it, people are taking the streets and protesting. Like even Muslims are, taking the streets and protesting and doing all sorts of foolishness, calling to all sorts of foolishness. And many times, these are things that's completely against the deen. But in reality, what we should be doing is rectifying ourselves and our deen, right? And sometimes I just ask myself, like, how come there aren't many Muslims who sees this for what's really happening here? Like it seems like many of us are upon the ways of like the mainstream liberal media when it's completely not in line with our deen at all. And I just want to let y'all know that when I speak about like religion or, make any reference points, by no means at all am I advocating that, like I'm some sort of scholar or student of knowledge or, giving advice. By no means at all. I'm just a layman, that's it. Just a layman. But, but seriously, like there's plenty of students of knowledge and scholars that I can recommend for that, whom I personally listen to and take my deen from, people that are well known, like the likes of, Ustad Hassan Somali and Ustad Musa Richardson, just to name a few. So basically, like this podcast is just to give people a different perspective than what mainstream media is pushing. And sometimes it's in complete contradiction to our beliefs. So, after all, like we have to refer back to what? We got to refer back to Quran and Sunnah at the end of the day. So, so that being said, I hope to kind of kick off this podcast series and, give you guys some good beneficial content, inshallah, coming soon. Some food for thought. And even if you maybe take a lesson that you can take away from it or, something that could possibly benefit you in this life, then that I feel like, inshallah, that would make my day. So, that's it kind of for now. I appreciate you guys for listening. And inshallah, until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.